On December 10th at about 11 p.m. at night, Carolyn Adams, aka Signal 99, put out a post apparently concerned that the Enquirer is doing some sort of story on Signal 99. Now, how do we know that the site is Carolyn Adams? Because her own lawyer filed a document that ended up being filed into a case that it claims that she is the sole purveyor of Signal 99. And as long as that sits out there and it's not refuted, I'm going to go along with what she says through her own counsel, that this is all her. I'm going to break down the post paragraph by paragraph because I don't know how to describe it as ludicrous, ridiculous, sad, pathetic, troll, nonsense, delusional, or I don't know the words to put on it, but I'll break it down paragraph by paragraph. I'm going to read each paragraph and then try to offer a brief commentary on each one. So let's go. Once upon a time, about 3.5 years ago, our little satire page, born out of frustration, truth-telling, and the silent screams of deputies, judges, prosecutors, clerks, paramedics, firefighters, dispatchers, and police officers, somehow ended up doing the actual work that the regular media outlets were not able to do. Okay, well, let's start with this claim it's a satire page. No, it is a defamation and false light page. That is what it is, and it is a page used by people that are of not good repute to settle scores, to use as a way to anonymously get stuff out there where there's no accountability, and the ulterior motives of those people that provide it to Miss Adams cannot be inspected. So I want to know who the deputies, judges, prosecutors, clerks, paramedics, firefighters, dispatchers, and police officers are who tried to go to regular local media, corporate media, and were told, no, we won't do the story, and also tried to use their own vehicles within their own agencies to report things, report problems, and they were ignored. I want to know who that is. Come on. It is something that people use to settle scores and they deal with the axes they have to grind with each other. It is pathetic. I guess it gives Carolyn Adams a reason to feel important, but it is wrong. Everything it does in this regard is wrong. Let's go on to the second paragraph. We didn't ask to be influencers. We didn't ask to shape public opinion. We didn't ask to become the page that City Hall doom scrolls at 2 a.m., I guess it is, while they hold their breath and hope their nothing to see here narrative can survive another day. Okay, so this is also just ridiculous and idiotic, okay? You didn't ask to be influencers. So Carolyn Adams has had, I think, 7 different anonymous, I think most all of them, smear pages. But she didn't want to be an influencer, and she didn't want to shape public opinion, although she's very proud later in this note about how they affect all the local media. And they didn't ask to become, what City Hall doom scrolls. Maybe that's the case. Maybe City Hall is doom scrolling you at 2 a.m. It appears you're up at 2 a.m. But I think that maybe they're scrolling you because of the defamatory false light smears you constantly put out on people. I'm not saying that what Signal 99 puts out there aren't, factual things. What I'm saying is that is all a cloak over, underneath of it, a pathetic person, in my view, Carolyn Adams, who lets herself be used as a vehicle to kind of trade in these smears, just smears defamatory content, and then tries to hide behind nonsense like that it's a satire page. Let's go to paragraph 3. We made the memes to improve morale. We asked the hard questions. We told the truth. We exposed the lies, all while we refused to burn the vast amount of sources who trust us. Those sources being people with axes to grind who want to stay anonymous because of their ulterior motives. And the memes to improve morale. You viciously attack people who in any way criticize you, including me, with an absolute reckless disregard for the truth. Apart from the photoshops, like with me, the big nose, the schnoz, all this kind of stuff, you just hit parrot narratives that you know are false. Carolyn Adams, you do this, okay? The baby box thing you did on me, watch the video and you know what you said was completely and utterly false. Had you bothered to check with anybody, you would know it was completely and utterly false. That's called reckless disregard for the truth. Let's move on to the next paragraph. So who decided to sick the Cincinnati Enquirer on us? Who is the master of this wannabe band dog? Is it Mr. and Mrs. Mayor, the schnoz? That's me. The Hamilton County Democratic Party? Is it Iris the virus? Our question is rhetorical, as we don't actually give a flying fornication who is behind it, and will not be silenced. Okay. All right, don't be silenced. Okay? Carolyn, you're a smart woman. Just keep putting it out there, right? Now that you're unmasked, Carolyn, and people know who you are and can, for example, take action, not against a faceless Facebook page, but against an individual who knowingly disregards the truth, keep at it. I think nobody wants you to be silenced. They want you to be exposed for what you are. I don't want you to be silenced. I want you to be exposed. And so in terms of who sicked the Enquirer on them, wasn't me. Okay, I'm not having a good relationship with any of the what I call corporate media. I did get contacted by the Enquirer. I'm glad to talk with them. I'm glad to help them. I'm glad to see maybe some of these other places like Fox 19, WLW, WCPO, or Local 12 should take some action. I'm just joking about Local 12. They can't really. We all know how Local 12 is. So, but maybe one of these other stations would actually step up and start, instead of just being manipulated by a smear site, and we're going to hear about that in a little bit, maybe they should step up and start looking into the people that are behind these constant defamatory smears that are put out there by Carolyn Adams. Okay, so let's go on to the next paragraph. We outscoop the media quite frequently. They don't hate us for that. They simply wish they had our sources, as well as the ability to repost the videos and documents we receive, but cannot. The media has to get the videos and documents directly from the source. It is not their fault. It is a legal issue. I don't know how that would be a legal issue if you had a public record and you pass it on to another person. But let me keep reading. So yes, we often share information with them. While never burning a source, we point them in a direction to seek what they need. And they do the same for us. Okay, so she's claiming that the local media, and we'll learn, not, except for the Enquirer, I think, is feeding them information. Okay, let's think about that for a second. So these things that are false defamatory smears, she's claiming the local media is feeding some of that stuff to her? Okay, let's roll with that. That the local media is using Signal 99 as a way to defame people without having their fingerprints on it because she protects their sources. Okay, they do the same for us. That's what she said. Let's go on. 700 WLW, 55 KRC, Fox 19, WKRC, WLWT, and WCPO have all used material provided in Signal 99 articles. Even Fox National, One American News, and Newsmax have reached out to utilize our content. Notice who hasn't? The Cincinnati Enquirer. Okay, we know the Cincinnati Enquirer, based on their admission, I don't distrust this, has never used Signal 99 because these TV media places or the radio, I'm not defending the Enquirer in any way, shape, or form. But look at the joke reporters at these corporate media things. They don't have, their assignment desks are a joke. They're getting their assignments off of Signal 99, seriously? And then they present the narrative and talking points of Signal 99 without doing any real research. Let's use it as we can use lots of things as example. We can use WXIX and the Babin X. We can use Local 12 and the Babin X. It just shows what a joke the local corporate media is. So I'm not defending per se the Enquirer, but good on you, Enquirer, if you don't use this smear site as your assignment editor, which they're basically claiming all these other places do. It's repulsive at all levels. It just shows you where we are as a society. So let's move on. So let them try to scoop us by calling us out, by trying to unmask us, shame us, or discredit us. We are undaunted. Well, you're already discredited by yourself. So you are a troll, okay, Carolyn? You sit there and you try to act like you're some sort of higher than the mighty, blessed by Jesus. I don't know, maybe the hands of Jesus is acting through you, but you're nothing more than a troll that lets yourself be used by people that are trying to perpetrate smears and so forth. In many cases, I'm not saying all cases, I'm just saying in many cases, that's what you are. And it is sad, it is pathetic, and it should be held accountable. Because I'm not saying that certain things are legal or illegal. What I'm saying is you're the one claiming that the people coming to you are deputies, judges, prosecutors, clerks, paramedics, firefighters, dispatchers, and police officers. I guarantee every one of them doing that violates their contracts. Okay? I'm looking at you, Lodge 112. You have any connections with Signal 99? So This is what is going on. These people are using her to settle scores and to try to influence public opinion on narratives. They caught my attention. I never paid any attention to Signal 99. But when they were defending dirty cops in Claremont County, they defend dirty cops like they're good cops. They're not. They're not. And frankly, any good law enforcement should stay the hell away from this woman and this site, in my opinion. Okay, so let's go on. And now they're talking about this individual, Iris Rowley, who I don't know that much about. We recently questioned why Iris Rowley wasn't charged with obstruction of justice, all these things, blah, blah, blah. You know, all these crimes. F5, yeah, Rowley, yeah. Okay. You know, we recently asked that question. Okay, again, I don't know why they just have to throw something out on somebody in the middle and say that this person should be charged with all these crimes. They said I should have been charged for a bunch of crimes for something that isn't false narrative as to what actually even happened. I mean, the reckless disregard for the truth by Carolyn Adams is here for everybody to see. We also recently asked a question about the $8.1 million lawsuit. When it was settled, we were hearing it was months ago, yet intentionally kept under wraps until after the election. Well, welcome to the way politics works. It's dirty, okay? We ask these questions, and suddenly the Enquirer is interested in doing an expose. Coincidence? We think not. This is Carolyn Adams. She has no knowledge, so she'll just make an assumption, okay? And that's called a smear, okay? That somebody's doing something because of these things, because, you know, we think it's coincidence, okay? She can't get any information. Carolyn, you can contact me. You have my number. I'll give you Scott Wortman's number so you can call him directly. Be a stand-up person, not a little troll, okay? Be a stand-up person and call Scott Wortman, and you ask him why he's doing the story. I think the biggest reason, my gut feeling is the biggest reason they're doing the story has nothing to do with anything you're saying. It's because you've been unmasked. I think that's why they want to do a story, more likely than any of these things, would be that, now I'm making a guess, okay? I'm not presenting stuff as being fact, but I think the key thing that hasn't changed is that you are unmasked. Carolyn Adams, you unmasked yourself. So now I think there will be more inspection of you, your motives, your sources and methods, and who you interact with, okay? Because you unmasked yourself. Now, everybody knew it was you. Everybody said it was Carolyn Adams doing this. But for the first time, there was an actual physical document attributed back to you that admitted that you did. Remember, you lied to me about doing it when I did a phone call with you that I recorded. Okay? We just felt the need to once again outscoop the Enquirer by posting an article about their scoop on us, particularly one of us, the raccoon in the pink tutu with a tiara and a list of people to bite should she ever contract rabies, okay? She might want to see, this is like mental stuff. This is like some drama, like just dumbass drama, okay? I don't know what this woman thinks she is, the raccoon in the pink tutu. I think if I had a loved one that was saying stuff like this, I would seek help for them, okay? I can't make any statements, but I'm not going to make any definitive statements. I'm not a doctor. I can't make a diagnosis, but it seems kind of crazy to me, okay? So to the Enquirer, before you attempt your little hit piece, so she's already assumed it's a hit piece. She hasn't talked to him, hasn't tried to talk to him. You know, she knows she's exposed. That's the problem. She knows she's exposed, okay? Before you try to smear us, they're going to smear us, or any one of our members, you better pray to whatever deity that still listens to desperate journalists that your statements are not defamatory, not fabricated, not malicious, or not false, because we have attorneys too, great ones. Well, it is laughable. The woman who defames and smears everybody on a site where she keeps secret is now going to start suing people for defaming her? Okay? Carolyn, if you need my service address, I'm glad to provide it, okay? And you can get your attorneys all lined up. This is just a person in total delusion, okay? She knows nothing about it, but she's already staked out her position. She hasn't seen an article. She hasn't talked to him. She hasn't tried to talk to him. She knows nothing about it, but she's going to get ready to have her lawyer. She's going to give you rabies, and she's going to have our lawyers, come after them, the great ones. Okay, it'll be interesting to see. Okay, it's just such nonsense, such a loony thing. This post will likely get more views than your article will anyway. We don't charge our viewers for subscriptions. And how are those subscriptions working out for you now? So you got it. It's deflection. A lot of things that she does is projection and deflection. Got to deflect. Got to deflect. Okay. Got to project and deflect. Project and deflect. David versus Goliath. Be careful. That's supposed to be careful. I don't know what that is. Careful. Is that a word? Okay. Love Signal 99. Okay. So that's breaking it down. That's Signal 99's most recent post. I think it's fantastic that Carolyn Adams is getting unmasked. I think it will be more fantastic when people come to me, Chris at thewatchdogwire.com, with your stories of being serially defamed, put in a false light by this site, by Carolyn Adams, by Signal 99. Because I think those stories need to be told. What this person does, Carolyn Adams, is disgusting. And the people that use her, the supposed, she claims, the deputies, judges, prosecutors, clerks, paramedics, firefighters, dispatchers, and police officers should all be held accountable. Every one of those people has a process in their own organizations for being a whistleblower. Okay? If one of them want to come to me and show me how they tried to be a whistleblower and it didn't work, okay, let's talk. Okay? If one of them want to come to me how there was some reason they had to go about this Carolyn Adams approach on something, okay, let's talk. But I bet you if you dig behind who these people are and they get unmasked, and they should get unmasked, that are doing this, that a lot of this has to do with access to grind. Access to grind, political agendas, not a straight up deal. And so I look forward to, more posts from Carolyn Adams out there. She's doing her thing. And I say more power to you. Keep doing your thing.